What is up, guys? We're back with another video, and today we're checking out this big CPU cooler right here. This is the Be Quiet Dark Rock Pro 5. So let's go ahead and take a look. As we take a first look at the cooler here, you can see that we have an all black design. So the heatsink, the fans, the heat pipes, everything is going to be all black. And this is the only color variation that Be Quiet is offering with this cooler. As far as size, this is definitely one of the larger CPU coolers that we've taken a look at. I'll go ahead and put the official dimensions up here like I always do. Now, one thing that you definitely want to keep in mind is that this is 168 millimeters tall. A lot of cases will only support 155, 160, so it's definitely something that you want to keep in mind. Starting at the front of the cooler, we have our first fan, which is a 120 millimeter Silent Wings 4 fan. In performance mode, this fan will spin up to 2000 RPM with a max airflow of 68.7 CFM and max air pressure of 2.48. This fan features airflow optimized blades and a tight tip clearance between the fan blade and frame, which provides extremely high air pressure. Looking at the cooler from the side, we can see its dual tower, dual fan design. The second fan is in the center, which we will go over in just a bit. We can see that the front fan is held into place with fan clips, which allows you to move it up if you need to. Moving around to the back of the cooler, we can see how each of the heatsink towers is designed. These towers have 45 pins each and feature a black finish that actually has ceramic particles in it. This should aid in heat transfer. Also, the fins on the back of the cooler are recessed, which should help reduce noise. At the top of the cooler is a cap that has the Be Quiet logo in the center. This is a magnetic cover that can easily be removed. Once removed, we can see a small physical switch that allows you to choose between performance or quiet mode. By default, the cooler ships in performance mode. With the top cap removed, you can easily remove the center fan. You simply pull up on the top frame and it will come out. This type of system is great and much easier to remove than fan clips, especially considering you need to remove the center fan to get the cooler installed. The center fan is a 135 millimeter Silent Wings fan that will spin up to 1700 RPM with a max airflow of 116.6 CFM in the performance mode. Coming up from the base of the cooler are 7 6mm thick copper heat pipes. These of course have a black ceramic coating as well. The heat pipes go up into the heatsink towers in a U fashion, which is pretty common for dual tower coolers like this. As we take a look at the base of the cooler, we have a very nice finish. Now, some machining marks are visible, but nothing really to worry about, as the base should provide a nice even surface for heat transfer. We're going to be doing our installation here on an Intel Z490 system, so this installation should be pretty much the same across all modern Intel sockets. The first thing you're going to want to do is find the Intel backplate. You need to install the pegs on it depending on your socket. For everything except LGA 1700, be sure to put the pegs in the hole area that's closest to the center of the backplate. From there, attach the backplate to the back of your motherboard, lining up the pegs with the holes in your motherboard. Take the Intel standoffs and screw them into the pegs in the backplate. This will secure the backplate to your motherboard. Now install the Intel mounting bars, securing them in place with the included screws. These bars need to be installed on the top and bottom of the socket, as you can see here. Apply the included thermal paste and then remove the center fan from the cooler and carefully place the cooler on top of your CPU, lining up the screws on each side of the cooler with the holes in the mounting bars. Using a screwdriver, go ahead and secure the cooler. Finally, reconnect the two fans together and then plug them into the CPU fan header on your motherboard. With the cooler fully installed, we can see that it does take up a considerable amount of space and it fully covers our memory. When it comes to testing, we test both temperatures as well as noise levels. So here's a full breakdown of our test system. When it comes to Deepcool's Dark Pro series, they really have to deliver because it is sort of like their flagship air cooler series. It's always been their best performing series as well. And I think with the Dark Pro 5, they really did deliver. As far as performance goes, this is one of the best performing air coolers that we've ever tested. It sits right up there with the Noctuas, the Deepcools, and the Cooler Master coolers. And we've pretty much tested all of those super high-end coolers. So, you know, this is pretty much right up there with all of the other coolers, which is really awesome. So, you know, if you were looking to cool a high-end CPU with an air cooler, this is a cooler that can definitely handle it. On top of that, this cooler is really quiet. The Silent Wings 4 fans are just awesome, super, super quiet. Even during like full load, this thing is very quiet, which I definitely like. Another thing that I like, even though this cooler is big, and that's something you definitely have to keep in mind, it is pretty easy to go ahead and get installed. You know, this top cap comes off, you pull out the center fan, making it really easy to get this installed. You could easily install this in a case. I know we do all of our installations outside of the case so we can show you, but you could easily install this cooler with your motherboard mounted in your case, no problem. It's gonna be really, really easy. The instructions are easy to follow. Like, I mean, installation shouldn't take you more than 15 minutes. It really is that easy. The only thing I was a little bit disappointed about was our idle results were just a little bit not as good as some of the other coolers, like during idle. Now, of course, this cooler makes up, you know, up for it with the load results, just amazing. But the idle results were a little just kind of in the middle of our test group. That's basically it. I mean, this cooler is selling for $84.90 right now on Amazon, which means it's about $15 cheaper than all of the other high-end air coolers that we've been testing lately. So you can save a little bit of money. And again, this thing is super quiet. So if you are looking for a high-end air cooler, this is one that I would definitely recommend. Now, if you have any questions about this cooler, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, I would definitely appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up. We'll see you guys in the next video.